Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to part two. Let's get it. I think last episode we ended on the idea, and we discussed the idea that purpose gives life direction.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm here to represent those people who haven't found their purpose. Those people who are directionless.
I feel like I'm not a part of the club.
Damn.
I feel left out.
You had your chance to represent your people. We're now going to represent these people, bro.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Because I know, and I hope they know
Whoa.
that going through a stage in your life where you want to find your purpose, but you just haven't. And even worse, if you may be surrounded by people who look like they found their purposes.
Hey, bro, don't hate.
I'm not hating on the
It's
other.
not.
I'm not hating, bro.
Why hating from outside the club?
Well,
You can't even get in.
Nah, but it's such a difficult place to be in, bro.
I can
And-
imagine, bro.
Yeah, personally, I've struggled with that a lot. Like, a lot, bro. But I've come to learn that everyone who's found their purpose at some stage went through a stage where they didn't. Well,
I mean, it's also fair to state that we're young, bro. It's not to say that even me saying that I know.
I get you.
It's just a general idea of what I want to do. It isn't like
Because there's people who only find their purpose in their 40s,
exactly.
50s.
Bro. There's no real age.
That at this age, you should have your stuff together. You should have found your purpose.
Exactly. It's just if you find it, you're fortunate enough to start moving in that direction.
But I think, as I mentioned last episode, that I stopped focusing on finding my purpose, bro.
Sorry?
Like, it wasn't like my focus. Like, my focus was more on just growing as a person.
Okay. I can respect
You thought
I was scared. I was like, what's the point of us doing this if you've decided to quit?
Dad, I'm still with you, bro. Relax. I'm still with you.
Yeah, bro.
But I'm just like so big on growing. I believe like by growing yourself, you'll come to learn more about yourself,
Okay.
right?
He's cooking.
Which will allow you to reach, not even to find your purpose easier. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying when your purpose does come, it will find you in a position that will allow you, right, to embrace it. That's all I'm saying.
And all we want to do is be embraced.
It's okay, bro.
That was so sad. I'm so sorry.
Nah, it's okay, bro. Nah, but have you been in that stage? You did say.
Yeah. I have. But I don't think it was as intense as yours.
Yeah, but I think also I think the more you grow up not having a purpose, the more it concerns you.
You said that a little too softly, bro. Grow. What do you mean by that, bro? Just elaborate a
I
little
don't
there.
know. I don't know whether it's society. There's this whole idea that I know I'm probably too young to be saying this.
I just sounding like that.
But I feel like, especially if you're like focused on your life, bro. Like you're generally an individual who seeks improving, who wants to do meaningful things out there. You know, you want to contribute in some way.
Yeah.
It's difficult to, the more you grow up, the more difficult it is to accept that you haven't found your purpose.
Okay.
You know, and this ties in with that whole idea that I mentioned before of not being like given a direction. When you're not being like told this is what you have to do. You know what I've noticed? Like, you know when I like kind of noticed this. Do you remember this might be a very silly example, but there was this time during lockdown, bro.
Okay. Yeah, that was when I started to think about mine as well, bro.
How many people do you think went through a period of like being sad, not knowing what to do with themselves? Like, you're so used to being in the school system. I think that plays a major role in everyone's life. 7 o'clock, you arrive. You know you have to bath at 6:30 or 6. You get there. They tell you. At 8 o'clock, you're here. 9 o'clock, you're there.
Yeah.
At 10 o'clock, you must eat. It's break.
It's break. You must eat. You must.
School finishes at 2.
Yeah.
And as much as you want to tell yourself that you're free from school now,
Mm.
you know you have to go back home, do homework, do this, that. I'm just saying so much of your life is,
planned
in a
for you.
sense, planned for you.
Yeah, I get that.
So when I, like, came to uni,
Mm.
that was all gone, bro.
Mm.
You can attend classes if you want. I mean, nobody's forcing you.
Yeah, no, that's true. But there's with uni, you still retain some of that.
100%.
I think for me, the reason why I was in a really deep place, I was
Mm.
forced to look, bro, is because that gap year did things to me that, oh,
Mm.
the Lord Almighty, bro, He saved me from that darkness, bro. He pulled me out. He reached in and pulled me out, bro. That was a time of self-reflection, isolation, and really trying to understand who I was, why I was the way I was, and based off that, try and find out who I want to be.
God, that must have been a difficult time, bro.
It was. But I can say for sure that it's those moments that allow for you to truly, begin your search in a very, very meaningful way. Like you realize then that you've lived a life that people chose for you to live, and now the responsibility is in your hands. And when you decide to accept accountability, bro, that's when it gets crazy, man.
And I think I think you come to appreciate your purpose more. Having stayed in a stage where you just didn't know what was going on, I think you appreciate it a whole lot differently, bro.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true.
But yeah, we wanted to... so I think just to conclude that.
Yeah, to emphasize that.
To emphasize that. Like, I think we've come to agree that the stage of searching is expected, right? It's welcomed.
Yeah.
But must be accompanied by growth. That need not be specific, but must be universally beneficial. And yeah, bro, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of this idea, man.
That's incredible. So, just to reiterate what you said, searching is welcomed, but that searching has to be accompanied by growth that is universally beneficial. Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's something I believe as well, bro.
And
very
I know
strongly.
When we say universally beneficial, that might
Yeah.
You might not see it. You might not see your growth as benefiting, everyone outside just yourself.
Yeah.
But there will come a time where you understand why you had to go through certain things, why you had to, go through certain things to grow in a certain way, so that you can help people. So I think there comes a time where you will understand. Things will make sense.
Okay, so you see, I love that. I love what you said there. You said you come to understand why your growth will allow you to help people. Because to me, personally, I believe that the first step to take in searching for your purpose is to realize the macro types of purpose. If that even makes sense, but I tried my best there.
That was a lot to take in.
What I mean is, I believe that, again, I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, I think there are intrinsic desires that we have as human beings, right? That link to community, that link to being a part of something bigger than yourself, that I think we can use as a foundation on which we can build our purpose. Not necessarily build it ourselves, but I think they sort of act as the stepping block in our journey to find that purpose. Do you get me? When I mean macro, I mean like
the foundation.
And it can be very, very general.
Okay.
It can be as broad as saying, I think I've been put on this planet to help people.
Mm.
Or I think I've been put on this planet to help this planet,
Mm.
right? And then you slowly move from there into your specifics,
Mm.
which is why I personally am of the belief that, especially when you're looking at the macro side of purpose, the intention of it is not to benefit you, but is to serve something greater than you.
Mm.
That's the best way that I've been able to consider the macro sense of purpose. The goal of setting this general foundation is to state that at the end of the day, my goal to accomplish is the betterment of humanity,
Mm.
is our growth as a race,
Mm.
is to contribute to the greater.
The greater purpose, if you can
Mhm.
say.
Exactly.
But I like that idea. It really calls for you to humble yourself, bro. To
Okay.
understand that
Yeah.
you just need to play your part. And I know that's like...
Oh, damn, you said that. That was so harsh, bro.
I don't know how to put it in.
You need to play
You
your
just
part.
need to play your part.
Step
bro.
in line. Step in line. Don't stand out.
Just play your part.
Okay.
Like, I feel like maybe that's like... sounds harsh and maybe hard to come to terms with. But I feel like your purpose should definitely be playing into a greater purpose. And I feel like if everyone understands, it's like it's like I have this belief, bro, that me personally, my job is to like be here, do my best, so that I can sort of like put the next generation in a better place.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great macro. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's essentially what I mean by that.
Okay. Because that's what I believe, bro. Like, I just believe that I'm here to play my part. And in playing my part, I've set up the next generation.
Exactly. So the macro essentially focuses on what the end goal of your purpose is.
Okay.
Right? It's and I personally believe that it definitely has to be something greater than yourself. I don't think attributing material wealth and success. I think it's a measure of the immaterial. I think it's a measure of the metricless, if you will.
That's beautiful.
Right? So that's how I've been able to approach it. But that begs the question of what about the specifics of your purpose, bro? How do you think one might go about approaching that, bro?
The specifics
of your purpose.
That's beautiful, bro. Like, that's something that I've even struggled with a lot, bro. The specifics, because I think everyone sort of, I don't want to say everyone, but most people on a macro level have that taken care of.
Yeah. Like we know we want to help people.
But in terms of on a micro level, I think, first of all, on a micro level, you're thinking more. It's more you. It's more personal.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's more personal. That's one thing we need to consider.
Mm-hmm.
And by personal, we mean that it's your experiences, right? It's your experiences. And I think you can only make it micro through understanding your own experiences and understanding yourself.
Okay.
Because through understanding that, then you can understand who you are.
Okay.
Is going to play a role in sort of how you contribute to the greater purpose.
Yeah. No, yeah. It's facts, bro. That's so true.
I think people need to, not even people, even me myself.
Me
myself,
and I. Yeah.
But I think, I really think like you need to understand yourself. You need to understand your experience, because that's the only way. Or should I say only?
I mean, it depends on how you end your sentence. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for how you're going to end it before I can
Yeah, but I feel like that's the only way you can really personalize or make it from a macro to a micro level.
Okay. To understand the exact role you play in the greater scheme of things, in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, absolutely. I think in exploring your experiences and exploring your upbringing, you begin to realize that you might have a specific skill set, right? And the only way you understand that is if you look back. If you take a look at yourself and take a look at your upbringing and surroundings. And I also think it's a very fair shot to consider your environment growing up, but also, like the context of your story.
That's beautiful.
The family you come from, the culture you come from, the society you come from.
Why are you listing those things we discussed in the first episode?
I don't know.
That's
But
a beautiful link, man.
I do believe that that's fundamentally where it's at. I believe that the specifics of your purpose lie in the context of your story. But they most definitely aren't limited to that context. I believe that you can use your story to propel you into understanding how you might play a role in the macro side. However, just because you were born to this family or just because you were born to this culture doesn't mean you can't exceed whatever limitation that environment might have placed on you.
And that's beautiful, man. Like even those factors that we mentioned that can influence your identity, family, wada. I think there's a beauty in the struggle.
Okay.
Beauty in all those things, like not going perfectly. The fact that all those things didn't play out how you'd imagine, how you'd have wanted. I think that is what gives us context.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
And that in having those differences, in the story not playing out how you imagined it, allows you to be who you are.
Yeah.
The way you are.
Yeah.
Which allows you to contribute your purpose in a certain way.
Exactly.
So I feel like not having your life play out the way you wanted it to is a blessing, bro. Like it's a huge blessing.
Yeah.
Often it's frustrating because you don't understand why.
Yeah. That's so true.
Like you don't understand why this had to happen to me. Why? Just why? But I feel like if you stop playing victim, bro, like there's this whole thing that I like to take responsibility. I like to think of myself as that person. I'm a very maybe it's the Zulu in me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Like I like to take action. And I if something's not going to help me grow, I'm quick to let it go.
Okay.
Like very quick. So if I go through a situation, even if it wasn't my fault, I'm very quick to look at what could I have done better? Because I know dwelling in that situation is not going to help me in any way. So the moment I just pick up, okay, maybe I could have done that better, even if it's not my fault, just to be able to see where I could have done better. Because otherwise, looking at the other side of it, I'm not improving in any way. So I feel like just learning that skill of if it's not going to help you grow, just drop it. Like in any part of your life, if it's not helping you grow, just drop it. And yeah, I just feel like, bro, I'm so huge on just growing, man.
Yeah, no, I get
Just
you, but
growing.
I've also picked up on that whole statement of accountability that you said, taking responsibility. And again, that's a hallmark. It's a fundamental aspect of this. This whole thing of trying to find your purpose and the life that you live after you find your purpose. It never stops being a conversation of accountability. It never stops being a conversation of growth, because you realize you need to get somewhere. And if you don't get somewhere, you're disappointing the potential you. And that's a huge thing. But I think it's
I like what you said there, bro.
Yeah.
Disappointing the potential you.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone is a human. Like, amongst any, like, all the other missions, like, something you should be striving towards is reaching your max potential.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think everyone should be striving towards. As long as you still feel you can improve,
Mm-hmm.
then you haven't done enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I just have that burning desire to see how capable I am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that comes from, but like, I feel like as long as you have that desire, you know, to push your limits, to surpass your genetic makeup,
Mm.
and then I feel like somewhere along the line, you should just, you know, walk past your purpose. Maybe it will say hi.
Mm.
The two of you can bond.
You guys might make eye contact and fall in love, and get married and have kids, and start a family,
and live happily ever after.
Yeah. I'm so lonely. Anyway, basically, but yeah, that I think with that we've really touched on what we wanted to touch on with regards to both the macro and the micro side of the whole journey of purpose, and also about how we definitely need to have a moment in our life where we decide we need to look, we need to search, and in our search we don't do it complacently. We try everything we can try. We grow in every direction that we can grow, so long as it's universally beneficial. And with that being said, we're keen to have you guys join us for the next part, which will be a more relaxed discussion. That will have a general focus on the nature of purpose that we have. Like, more so touches on how different everyone's purpose is. Just to give you a tiny glimpse into it. We don't want to,
And should it be different?
Yeah.
Is it okay for it not to be different?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all those questions.
All those questions. And also, like, what our purpose usually ends up being a reflection of.
Don't tell them.
I won't tell them.
Don't ruin it.
It's a mystery.
Nobody likes spoilers.
You can't see me. Sorry. That was hidden somewhere.
That was beautiful, bro.
Okay. Thank you. But yeah.
But thank you. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you for joining, and make sure to drop your feedback. And always